Bonnie Blue is the proud owner of the I Slept With 1,057 Men in 12 Hours award. Remarkable accolade, one to tell the grandkids. But on today's episode of Jizz, Sweat and Tears, it's not all gone swimmingly for the unconventional record holder. We've had angry mums coming to collect their sons from Bonnie's dodgy after-school club. Britain's national treasure Beavo sticking his beak in wasn't the only thing he stuck in. Yeah, they actually made one on that website. But if there's something that Bonnie Blue won't take lying down, it's plagiarism. Because yeah, she's mad at fellow top shagger Lily Phillips for stealing her ideas. Honestly, how dare she? The audacity of some people. But these two are like the Messi and Ronaldo of their field. But I want to start off by talking about Bonnie Blue's Ballon d'Or, because her achievement of bonking, as she calls it, 1,000 men in 12 hours, it goes a little bit deeper than the surface level. Because she's got a thing for young men.
Pleasuring barely legal 18-year-olds.
And married men.
When I did the world record, I loved grabbing the men's hands and feeling the fact they had a wedding ring on. Like, it just made that a little bit hard.
Well, at least we know she can actually feel something. Her eyes were telling me otherwise. But obviously, all of this is rage bait, right? Because every time she says stuff like this, she knows that her comments are going to be flooded with women who are mad at her. Makes a change to her room being flooded with men, flooded with their cup. But let's all take a look at this fantastic achievement, shall we?
Okay, 500, check. Oh, and if you see they look a bit wet, it's fluids. 600, done. 800, done. 900, done. The big 1,000 was well and completely done.
Let's get a round of applause in the room, people.
Remember when as a nation we clapped for key workers? Now we're clapping because someone's been clapping cheeks. But I think the main question on everyone's lips, how? Well, I'm sure another popular question is why. Money! But I'm more intrigued about how. My first thoughts were, surely this is gonna hurt, right? And then surely it would get to a point where you're kind of forcing it to happen. But 1,057 in 12 hours? The fellas are surely doing shuttle runs in and out of the room. And that just makes me think, like, surely it can't be real. So much of this just doesn't add up. So to be doing it 12 hours straight, you get what, like a minute and 20 seconds? No, actually, that's too long, if anything. But she herself even said that she had breaks.
Every time I'd go out, because I would like nip to the toilet upstairs, it's like three floors, and all I would see is that everyone just curling around the stairs.
That's not me trying to shame her ability. I'm just talking about if you factor in changeovers and breaks, like, surely there's not enough time. It gets too complicated and I'm not buying it. But before this video goes any further, I just want to stress it takes 1,058 to tango. And I'm well aware how me, a man, talking about a woman's bedroom antics may come across. But this lady in question, well, she's a little bit dangerous.
Like if an 18-year-old girl came to me, would I recommend this job? Probably, yeah.
This gives a new meaning to lock up your daughters. Just keep them away from this mess. And I don't want to seem like I'm just shitting on sex workers. Like, if you want to do that, that's up to you. Get your bread, do your thing. But please don't be inspired by this person here.
Husbands, do not cheat on your wife with someone you work with at the gym or have connections with.
Cheating with me.
And it's also 100% worth noting the men are just as bad. These are probably the same guys who would complain about Bonnie Blue's behaviour and then just go and enable her. Like, everybody involved with this, what are you doing? There is more to life than Bonnie Blue meet and greet. But in case you wanted to see what it was like to be one of the fellas in the line, well, someone decided to proudly show us. Okay, there's a lot to unpack here, some genuinely strange men. But why have people gone in barefoot? What sort of establishment is Bonnie Blue running? Oh, okay, that explains it. But why hasn't she bothered to get a bed or a mattress? It's like those little seats they have in Sports Direct when you're trying on your new football boots. There's a whole 3-point lighting set up. Soft boxes and soft boxes and everything. But imagine tiptoeing around all of those puddles of man juice just to give yourself dodgy knees. And I swear those things move as well when you give them a little bit of pressure. No ring light and no ring on a finger is gonna make that any better. But it's not just married men that she likes, she also has a soft spot for what she calls barely legal. And not to forget her marketing campaign called Schoolies. But if that wasn't creepy enough, how about waiting in a 1,000-man line, getting to the door, and then your mum comes to pick you up like she's outside the school gates.
Go in, put your clothes on and come. Otherwise I'll get the police to come for you. Put on your clothes now and come out. Come out of here now. Put on your coat and shoes and come. Don't let me call the police, you know.
When I was a kid, I played with Lego and toy cars. Now they're playing with Bonnie Blue's clitoris. But obviously this isn't an actual child. Well, I fucking hope not. Bonnie Blue does state regularly that she requires ID at the door. Consent forms and waivers, not the cum contract. But imagine being a Bonnie Blue bouncer. I wonder if they throw their weight around and push you over when you're drunk for no reason. Bit of law there. But you may have noticed a certain face there, Beavo. Because yes, there's a sex worker to ride the coattails of, so he's all over it like a fly to a pile of shit. Or a Brit to a cosmetic shop in Turkey.
Okay, so would you eat me after taking all those hundreds of men?
Definitely not.
Really? No. Okay, boys, this is an invite for anyone that wants to come and clean me up afterwards, because
Beavo's not in the mood to swallow.
Brandon Beavis is a consistent humiliation ritual, and I will not hear otherwise. I've never known a guy to have such a chip on his shoulder, act the way he does, but have no excuse to do so. But this wasn't his only involvement, because this man had to earn the privilege to be around Bonnie Blue at this event, because she sent him around with a microphone and got him to do literal post-match reviews with the men she's been with.
Did you have a good time? Yeah. You had a good time, that was the main thing. Yeah.
That a boy, Beavo. It will all be worth it one day. You might want to turn your mic on, though. You literally had one job. All you needed to do was interview Bonnie's boys. But before this, he actually announced the fact that he was going to be there.
Big announcement. You know the rules. Listen, if this makes me single, I do not care. Listen, Beavo, Bonnie Blue, 11th, Oxford Circus. Make sure you're there for a GB or BG or whatever the hell it is.
If only GB stood for Gumshield Band. But it's great to see that he's clued up on his brief. You know, it's great to hear the man himself promising
whatever the hell it is
as an incentive.
It'll be a madness. Getting interviews, gonna meet all the fans, might even get involved. Listen, I don't care at this rate.
For a moment, I'd like you to imagine that you're in the line, you get to the door, you're about to have your minute and 20 seconds with Bonnie Blue, then one of the men with you is Beavo. You just spend the whole time going on about the rules, and I just need to know what they are. I would just have to ask him. I just think it would be a little bit distracting. But to be fair to Beavo, he did get what he wanted in the end, because he did actually do a collab with Bonnie Blue on Orange YouTube. The site for many a naughty videos sounds a bit like Corn Stuff, and for obvious reasons I can't show that video and I don't want to subject anyone to it anyway. But there was one golden sound clip.
I think you know the rules now.
I know the rules.
His digital footprint in the room with us. This is the same man who made his name from inhaling potatoes, by the way. I know that he was never going to be taken seriously as he would have liked, but he sunk to such a low that he's now collabing with Luke Bennett. Absolute cinema. But something else in the Bonnie Blue cinematic universe, a character called Lily Phillips has been a good friend of Bonnie's for a while now, but they're not mates anymore. And to get you to understand where this feud began, I'd like to show you how she introduces herself to this podcast.
It's the Shizio Show with Lily Phillips, aka England's #1 sluzzer.
What a title. But she calls herself this because she had a very similar idea to Bonnie Blue. Bonnie Blue may say too similar, because Lily decided to do the same amount of fellas in a day. But Bonnie tells us that she told Lily about her plans to do that. But as some of you may have already known, Lily did it herself. She even got a documentary made about it, which is interesting. But they were a pairing who made many a videos together. But based off actual national news sources, that might not be the case anymore. Bitter feud between OnlyFans star Bonnie Blue and Lily Phillips is escalating. It's a bit dramatic. After Bonnie accused her former friend of trying to steal her idea of breaking the world's sex record by bedding 1,000 men in a day, the 25-year-old has now been accused of cancelling a major press interview after the host had Lily on first. Huge news for those with crumbs in their bed. There's really no need to throw your rose toys out the pram, but the major press interview that they're talking about is the Plug Talk podcast. She plug on my talk till I podcast, but essentially a podcast where they talk and shag. Whatever you're into, I guess. Into each other, by the sounds of things. Bonnie cancelled multiple podcast appearances in LA because we had Lily on first. Who knew gangbang politics was so serious? Clearly a massive disrespect to Bonnie's craft. Don't worry, Bonnie, we will get him. But Bonnie was interviewed by the Daily Mail and she accused Lily of being a backstabber. Oh no. She then elaborates by saying way before Lily even put it on her socials that she'd like to do the world sex record. And when I helped her out and invited her to do my Freshers content, I shared the idea of her saying I really wanted to do the world record. The Freshers content in question, by the way.
As promised, I'm outside Nottingham-Trent University, as I said I would, to pleasure as many uni students in 2 weeks. I want to sleep with 130 barely legal 18-year-olds.
Shagging people as young as legally possible. I bet you're just glad there's no angry mums there. They would give a grimace of pain. And I guess I'm very trustworthy and oblivious to people's bitterness, so I shared the idea that I'd like to do it. Then it wasn't until November, 3 months later, she then announced on her socials that she was going to do the world record. Bonnie, I am so sad for you that you had to go through this. We really must stop Lily Phillips.
Because women are lazy.
But essentially that's it. That's their beef. And Lily did post something on her socials after Bonnie broke the record again. She literally walked around the streets with male juices on her face. I'm not going to show that for obvious reasons. Just take my word for it. You do not want to see it. Everyone in this video is a wrong un. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy. Like and subscribe or Bonnie Blue will steal all of your pens and paper.